Additionally, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk to Tanner Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises for you, the real estate agent, the real estate investor, as we try to sharpen our skills, become the best version of ourselves so we can reach our goals and support the people we love and care about most. This is your show host, Tanner Witt. I am the life and business coach, and we wanted to go over a fun exercise today specifically for our real estate clients. A lot of times when I'm with a client, we're kind of brainstorming back and forth, and we're just thinking like, man, I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to get a better sense, a better idea of what I can do to actually land a deal. How can I get a deal? That's usually a big starting point for a lot of people. I work with a lot of real estate agents who want to become investors, and there's a little bit of a transition in between this. And having these four things down, if we have these four down, it's going to make our ability to make a strong offer on a property and to be able to consistently offer more than our competition in the market so we can have a better chance at getting deals. I firmly believe that the prices will continue to get hammered. I've seen multifamily properties just getting chunked on sales, like coming down. I mean, it was just, we had 80% appreciation on like multifamily properties in thousands of areas across the country. Like, that's just not sustainable. And that's how, it is. Whether you're talking about the S&P 500, you're talking about real estate assets. Like, it works up. The value of these properties, the values of these companies, they go up over time, but they have hiccups. So it kind of looks more like a wave on the way up. So we want to be able to buy things when we pull back down on the price, because what is one of the key things that is true in real estate? We make money when we buy. So we want to go ahead. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to get these on the board for you guys over here at Instagram, as well as our friends here at Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We'll keep it short and sweet today. Don't need to get too crazy, but I think it's a great exercise to look over these. Ask yourself, where do I stand? What do I need to figure out? Circle the ones you don't know how to do, and then feel free to please contact me. Hit up a coach. Hit up somebody who has experience with doing this, or maybe you just need somebody to help support you, to hold you accountable to get this stuff done. A lot of the real estate agents, they're sharp as a tack, but they get so busy. So you guys get so busy that you don't actually take the time to kind of set aside your own investment criteria, what you want to do versus working with anybody, anytime, trying to get clients. I know listings are starting to really slow down because of interest rates and everything. So let's go ahead. We're going to take it to the whiteboard. Instagram, good morning. We're going to take you over to the offer side of things. And this is the bit of a real estate special today. So the first one we're talking about, when we need to know an offer, we got to have a price. Got to have a price. So price is huge in the respect that you need to know what you're actually willing to pay for this property. Just because it says on Zillow, say if it said on Zillow, 200 grand. 200 grand. It's like a triplex or something like that. It says 200 grand. Well, what does that 200 grand mean? Does that mean that it's cheap in the area? You're going to have to look up. What it's sold for in the past. If you don't know how to do that, you go to say I live in Whiteside County. So I would go to the Whiteside County website. I would pull up its tax information, and they will tell you exactly how much this property has sold. Maybe a year ago, it sold for 100 grand. Maybe it sold for 100,000 a year ago, and then they literally did nothing to it because the markets have ripped up so much. So is that a good deal for you? Maybe not. I don't know. It depends on the area, it depends on the building, and it depends on the other three factors. You're going to start to see how these all work together. But first off, you must have a good idea of price. What are you willing to I am looking to buy multifamily properties. Like in the anywhere from I'll take a duplex. But preferably I would take 4 to 12 units. 4 to 12 units. We've got multiple duplexes, some single family homes. We got 1 8 unit property that we're ready to start transitioning into the bigger multifamily. So is this a good price for it? I don't know. We'd have to look up, but it's good to just be able to have a firm understanding of what it is that they paid for the property. And then you can ask now going on to, so first we want to figure out the price of the property that we're going to actually offer, the price of the property. And then additionally, I'm going to put another money sign over here. I don't know if you can see it over on Instagram, but over here, another money sign, because we're going to essentially figure out, do we need financing? What is the money that we're going to need to incorporate the deal? Do you have a bank that will actually loan on the 200,000, or are you paying this out of pocket? Most people don't do that. Or are you trying to figure out a way to get no money down in it? Can you do seller financing or subject to? Figuring out the financing, embed it. I always include that with the price section. So price, see what it's actually sold for with your county website. And then additionally, know with a lender what do they value it at? Because sometimes banks are like, no way, that they haven't done anything to that house. I don't care what the market says. Interest rates are up. We're only going to lend on 150. I've seen that all the time. There'll be a nice property, this and that. And you're like, hey, we can do this kind of deal. And then they're like, oh, no way, man. We're only doing 150 for that one. It just hasn't ever sold for anything significantly more. So the most that we can do personally. And then you might have to talk to multiple banks. I think I talked to at least over 50 banks when I was first getting started, because I didn't have a lot of money and I didn't have a lot of experience. So I got told to kick rocks a lot. But after you talk to a certain amount of people, you're going to find somebody who will tell you yes. And that if you find the right deal for the right price, I promise you can get a loan on the property. So the next one, number 2, before you're making offers, know the condition. Condition of the property. So we want to know the condition of the property. I kind of loop this in with type. I'll write the word type over here as well. Type, condition. So condition of the property. Do you need a new roof? Do you need new windows? Do you need new gutters? Is the foundation good? Have you looked at the plumbing? Have you looked at the electrical? It's a long list of sweet. And then you can go to, there's all different types of sites and checklists and stuff like that. And if you work with me in coaching, I can give you a list of kind of everything that I personally look for, because I don't actually usually look for that stuff. I have a list, and then I have a list of people who actually know what they're doing in every respect. And then I have them go look at it, check it out to make sure it's all handy dandy when I go to walk and see the property with the owner. So condition of the property, what could possibly need to be fixed? You don't want a lot of times I've seen it multiple times where people will buy the property and then they won't include the fact that this and this are going to need to be repaired here very shortly. And so they get a good chunk on price, but they don't have any reserves in their bank account. And so when the ship breaks, then they end up losing the whole property because they can't afford, or they can't figure out a way to pay for it. But knowing the condition of the property before you make an offer, maybe going and driving by it, maybe asking if there's any updating things that are going to need to be fixed. You can call. I like to do this. I like to call the real estate agent who's listing the property, and I say, hey, is there any big expenditures that are going to need to be fixed? And they legally have to tell you. once you tell a real estate agent something about your property, they legally have to tell you and convey it to the buyer when they're thinking about buying it, and this and that. And if they don't, then you can come back and get get on them for that. But most real estate agents are pretty good about that, just disclosing full disclosure kind of on the condition of the property. And additionally, over here, I put type of property because this was something that I was doing for a long time. I was like, I'll take fucking anything. I'll take anything that makes money. And it turns out you're not going to make any money doing that strategy. You need to just pick one type, like make sure it's in a very certain particular condition. And if you don't know how to set up criteria, please click the link in the description below. You can set up a brainstorming session with me. We can take it to the board, and then we can write out what it is you're actually looking for. But condition, we want to make sure that we have a good idea on the condition that we can take on with our knowledge base, with our leadership team. Maybe we have a full construction crew. We can go to the studs, and then we can rebuild it out, and it'll be beautiful. We won't have to worry about it for a decade. That's probably the best way to go about it if you can do that. But realistically, starting out, most people, it's like the most you're going to want to be taking on is heavy cosmetic, like maybe some new cabinets, maybe like new flooring, paint, and a carpet. No, what is the saying? I'm sorry, it's early. It's caulk and paint makes you a carpenter when you ain't. Is that the saying? Either way, can't remember. But pretty funny. But yes, you can caulk and you can paint stuff, and you can make a house definitely livable, especially if your goal is to be more like under my girlfriend and I strategy. We're like rentals, and these don't, and they're definitely not the Taj Mahals, but they're nice properties and they're functioning, they're getting better. So next would be condition, making sure you know the condition and the type of property. Is it a multifamily? Is it a single family? Is it a duplex? Is it a commercial building? I would pick one. I would just pick one. You got a long, especially if you don't have any properties yet, you need to pick one. So, because it gets to a point it's really hard to compete with other buyers when they have all of these kind of laid out before they do their offers. So picking one type is definitely the best bet. That was something I didn't do at first, and I think it slowed me down quite a bit. So after we have condition, next we have timeline. Before making an offer, knowing the timeline of the property. Is this person moving out of state? Is this person just trying to avoid taxes next year? Maybe they'd be open to seller financing. Maybe they need to sell tonight and they have to have a cash offer of some sort. That could definitely take our $200,000 offer, and we could bring it down to $100,000 if we're going to be paying them in cash here tonight. So you can kind of see how the timeline definitely affects the price tier that we're going to be making for our offer on the property. The timeline. When do they need to close? Additionally, really consider, I drew that little money sign over here. This is for the bank. This is for the bank. So understanding your timeline is huge with working with the bank, because sometimes banks are slow. And well, not sometimes, most of the time they're pretty slow. It's like 30-day closings. I've seen 45-day closings. Right now, it's not nearly as busy, and they're wanting to get transactions done because housing market slowed down quite a bit. So they're a little more responsive. People are picking up their phones again, which is nice. But timeline is very key in understanding that you're trying to help alleviate the seller in every way that you can to help get better terms and better price. We want price, and then also over here I'll write terms because they're so key. We talked about this a little bit the other day on the show. There's price, draw a money sign, price, and then there's terms. We want to get both of those right because that's how people actually make money in real estate. is the price in terms of things. So messed up my 4. So the last one we're going over, number 4. So timeline, price, condition, timeline, and the last one is motivation. This is the big kahuna. This is the big kahuna. This is how a lot of people get big discounts when we're making offers, and they actually get accepted. Is if for our offers, of course, there's the price, understanding the price, what is a good price in that area for that type and condition of property. We want to know the price for that type and condition of property that is good for us. We're making money when we buy. It's meeting our investment criteria. After we have the price and the condition, what is the timeline? When do we actually have to close? I did this myself right in the beginning. I found a good price. I found the good condition. And I was like, hey, okay, let me buy this property. And he's like, okay, how are you going to get your money? I'm like, oh, shoot. Okay, I got to go to the bank then. And he's like, man, I got other people making offers. Like, you got to close on this in like 2 weeks. Like 2 weeks? I can't do that in 2 weeks. Boom, lost the deal. And I was really sad about that. It was a nice it was a really nice triplex deal. And I still wish I had it today, but I don't, because I wasn't ready. I didn't understand the timeline. I didn't understand how the timing of it, how it all works. Additionally, so once we have all that wrapped together, then we come down, and this is where you're going to really try your hardest to get the meat and potatoes of the story of why they are selling. We want to know the why. We want to know the why someone is selling a property. What? Did you get a new job? Did you're moving to go see some kids? You can be playful with it. You don't need to be some snarky asshole who's got the clipboard and he's like, so why are you selling this property? And like kind of being nosy, too investigative. You can just be playful and be nice and say, hey man, what's up? This is a really cool house. What's making you want to sell it? Don't they say to hold on to real estate forever? Haha. I take the playful, like really nice young looking guy approach. That works for me. But you got to find your own speed and your own identity within it. But I like to just ask them why, to try and gauge the why. Because once I have the why, then we can start working backwards. We can use the motivation to help create a good timeline for them that has a price that matches the type and the condition of the property. And as you can see how these all start like working together to make a real offer. And if you do not make an offer on a property, you will not buy a property. That is the first and foremost thing. If you do not offer, I promise you will not buy. So when it comes to making offers on real estate deals, this is what me, a couple of my investor partners, and one of my other, he's more of a contracting partner. What we kind of work together and we understand is I'll see the deal. I'll kind of see what a price would be, what a good price would be for it. I look at by looking at the condition, and then I find out the motivation of the timeline, and then I piece it all together to make a offer. So these are 4 things that you must consider if you're going to make offers on real estate, if you're going to be making offers on trying to get investment deals and get them done. A lot of things, there's a lot of moving parts, and it kind of all goes it's all slow. It's all really slow. Let's kind of turn you over back here to me, Instagram. It's all really slow, and then it gets really, really fast. It's slow. You're looking for deals on this and that, and then boom, before you know it, you're talking to them. You're collecting expenses. You're figuring out the motivation. You're figuring out the timeline. You're talking to the appraisers, the contractors. You're talking to everybody like in a very short period of time. It's kind of a weird, wild thing. So you want to have everything like lined up nice and easy, and then once it's lined up nice and easy, then we can move forward. We can have all these checks off of the list and then be ready to go to make it smooth, because people who are smooth and easy to work with tend to get the most transactions. So these are 4 pieces that you can use to make your offers better. That's about it from me. We're already at 20 minutes, and I do have a meeting in like 5 minutes, so I have to jump off here. But I hope everyone got some value this morning. I know I always love talking about real estate. So cheers. And if you know a real estate agent, a real estate investor who needs a life coach, they need someone to help support them, to make this more fun, to make it more enjoyable, to make life like a fun challenge to push ourselves, please contact me. Let me know if you know someone who could benefit from my coaching, someone who would want to sit down, break stuff down, work on themselves. They're growth oriented. These are some of their values. Really, really appreciate it. And additionally, for any of our other side viewers, if you could leave a comment on what you struggle with, maybe it's price, maybe it's condition and type, maybe it's timeline, maybe it's motivation, maybe leaving us a comment or sharing this content, as we're trying to give more free and value back to the community who has helped us out so much. So that's it for us. I'm bouncing out. Thanks so much. I will be here again November 3rd. That'll be Thursday, November 3rd at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Cheers, friends. I'll catch y'all later. Until next time. Bye.